Alright guys, it is the moment of the build. Today is May 11th. It is 12:30. Yes, I'm starting a half hour early since nobody decided to get front row tickets. So, I will be starting. So, when you put an engine together, you really want to be in a place that's not so much drafty, or you want to let all the dust settle. So like in my garage, I close the door, I lock it, I close the garage door, and I'll turn the music down, and I let the dust settle just a bit. You want these engines to be very clean, these especially performance ones. If you get any dust in there, it's probably going to tear up your bearings, or it's going to get really bad. So right now, I'm letting the dust settle and just waiting a little bit. So it's been probably a couple minutes since I closed the door and locked it. Now we're gonna start. Take your block, uncover it. I kind of did actually do uncover it. Set the bag aside so you can cover it later. Again. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the air repeated head studs so that I can put the pistons in without much of any clearance problem or trying to work my hands in there. So I'm just going to take a match up an Allen key. And I did bring a lot of the tools home from work so I could do this today, so they're not toolless, which is really nice. There. And this is a speed wrench, 3/8 inch drive, makes this a lot easier. Just give it a big, and then turn. So that didn't take too long to get that one up. Wow, those are long. So, see, just simple. See, another one. Only took probably about 10 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds compared to doing my hand, which takes probably about a minute. 30 seconds to a minute. So, it's that one, that one. Packages I got in yesterday was my Royal Purple Assembly Lube, full synthetic, really good stuff, expensive though. And my lower end gasket set. And then I also had ordered some O-rings from work, for one that goes between the cradle and block for the oil gallery, and another one that goes for our oil filter adapter. I do suggest use factory seals for that. Trying to match up an O-ring out of an O-ring box may not even cut it, because some seals are designed to take the pressure and some aren't. If you choose the wrong O-ring, you're kind of shit out of luck. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you don't, but I'm not going to trust this build to the O-ring I just match up. You'll see those later in this video. Go! Set that aside, and then you'll know there's 4 short ones, and then the rest are long. So the 4 short ones go here, 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 and here. If I don't drop them, way to go! Mad Professor drops his tool. Or his bolt. Anyways, so there's the 4 long ones, or short ones, and the long ones are just these 6 here. So there's that. Now I'm just going to set these aside for later. And then we're going to flip the block over. Sometimes when you rotate these, the slot here doesn't line up anymore because it moves either this way or that way, or it's too far one way, like this one is now. Come on, take it. There we go. So you kind of have to rock it back and forth a little bit. So I'm taking out the support. I have to take out the brackets that go here. So, okay. Now we're going to take apart the bottom section. This I'm just going to take a normal extension. About, I don't know, about yay long. So, working height's usually about between your waist and about your shoulder line. That way your arms don't get tired. If you're over your head all the time, you start feeling real heavy. A lot of people know that in their mechanics. Kind of sucks because then you lose your stamina. So, these ARP nuts are 12 points, so your standard 6 is not going to work. So one's going to be, so the outsides are going to be 10s. And your inside ones are going to be 13s. No, 12s. I am wrong. I correct myself. Oh, they're ½ inch. So these go back right now. Pick up my ½ inch. There we go. All I'm going to do here is just kind of same thing. Just snap it like I did. Just plus these aren't in all the way, so. Tighten, I should say. Ugh. Now, when I go to torque these, I'll put this on the crack and floor so that it stays in place a lot easier. Put that aside. Now I'm going to go for the 10s. Loosen. Loosen, 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 loosen. Okay. Now again, I'm just going to take my speed wrench or speed ratchet. Just undo them. Take this and just pull it off. Uh-oh. I didn't want that one to come out. That's alright. I'm going to be putting assembly lube on these anyways. I'm going to pull them out. Go back in that hole. I thought it was something bad. Dirty. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Now let's hold it there. You can see the lovely pull set up here. I have like probably 10 times more than this at work right now. So I have a lot of tools that I need for doing what I do. And you'll find once you get in, if you do start mechanics like I did, you'll find yourself buying tools that you'll be needing. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the nuts and washers off, and I'm setting them outside in a pile over here. So they're out of my way. I can just take the girdle off, and then I'll hand tighten some of these that unscrew themselves somehow, which is alright. It's not like it has to be in there right now. I'm more concerned about getting the girdle off and then assembling the rotating assembly. Start it, pull again. So, before I put the crank in, I'll show you to do the bearings, and I'll show you the crank, what that was all done to it when it was balanced. Basically, when you take an aftermarket crank, aftermarket rods and pistons, you have to all make it so that the bob weights or counterweights on the crankshaft match the weight of the rod, the piston pin, and your piston rings. And also your connecting rod bearings. If you don't, you're going to get serious vibrations and engine failure. And that's not very good because it'll take out your bearings before, or it might throw a rod, or which is not really fun. I'll tell you that. Alright, I'm switching over to I didn't want you to come out either. Don't go anywhere. And I am setting these nuts and washers in separate piles because they are different sizes and I don't want to go searching for them. Basically, organization is probably one of the biggest keys to building engines. Organization, knowledge. You have done your research based on what your knowledge is on what you can and can't do with the engine and what do you want to do with it, and is it possible. A lot of things are possible if you have time and money, but there's a lot of things you just can't do, and I just can't really name them all right now. For one, I can't build 1,500 horsepower of an engine. It's possible, but on what I'm doing, not likely going to happen.
3 times all worked long to win the ultimate Mega Metallica getaway to Orion Fest the weekend of June 8th, where everything goes on. I mean, not only the 5 stages, the big concert with Metallica, Chili Peppers, Deftones, Rise Against, but also the Classic Car Show, which is a twice speak this year that James put together, and then Kirk's Crypt, which is all kinds of like meet and greets with classic.
Oh, it is getting warm in here.
Stars from
All these lights.
He actually, I think, is a bigger gore movie buff than even Rob Zombie. He just doesn't make his own movies like Zombie does. And his collection is unbridled. You'll see all that stuff. You'll have all access, VIP, all of it. Starting with your morning show about 9 o'clock Monday. Listen, you text with 1067 KDI.
So these are supposed, ARPs are supposed to be in hand tight, but what I do is I just, so here's hand tight, and then I just a little bit so I don't have to turn them.
Annoying sound of my voice, maybe. Either way, get the iHeartRadio app at KBPI.com. Verizon Red Hot
That's it. That's all you need. Just a little bit. That's all you need. ARP gives you an option if you want to have these permanent in the block. All you have to do is just put a little Loctite on it, but you have to torque it down almost immediately when you do. Edge display. Plus, get the Verizon exclusive Droid Racer HD by Motorola in white for $49.99 after $50 mail-in rebate debit card, our lowest price ever. It features Google Voice Search that understands you the first time, and they're all on America's largest 4G LTE network. Oh, and one more thing, don't wait long. Red Hot today and May 12. Powerful devices, powerful network. Verizon. Visit any Verizon store, VerizonWireless.com/redhot, or call 1-800-256-4646. Requires new 2-year activation, upgrade, early termination, and other fees may apply. Coverage details at VerizonWireless.com/network.
Hello there, this is Scott for Scott's Easy Seat. This brilliant stuff is guaranteed to grow grass on any bare patch, even if you miss a day of watering. That's because it combines the finest seed and fertilizer with a natural mulch that absorbs and holds 8 times its weight in water. That's something that Roundup paper and some other brands just can't match. To learn more, go to Scotts.com. Or prepare those bare patches with Scott's Easy Seed this weekend. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
So,
If you can't get these washers up sometimes, the magnet really helps.
I see a house with a pool.
If you can't grab them because your hands are all greasy or something.
Pluses on their report cards.
Oh, I think I see something. It's a garage with a power boat inside. And is that a big screen TV?
No, I'm sure it's just
Okay, so Girl's not going to come up the way it is, so you have to get a little persuasion. I honestly recommend either a rubber mallet or a dead blower. It's not going to hurt the paint, so I'm going to go with the dead blower. Just tap it up. Give it a couple good taps. See, there it comes. Just like that. So, now just maybe rock it a little bit. Here it comes. Oh, see, I did forget one. Got 2. I'm glad I'm able to find it. Lose these, you're waiting for a while because these are especially hard washers. So, okay. Alright, where am I going to set this? I'm going to set it down here for now. Other way.
Mitch Bennett owed his wingman a debt that could never be repaid. I bought him some barbecue. We called it even. Oh. Mitch Bennett owed his wingman a debt that he repaid with lunch. Yeah. He told me about Navy Federal Credit Union. Yeah, I didn't know Air Force guys could join. His life would never be the same. It's mostly the same, but I do get better service now. 4 million members, 4 million stories. From every military branch, DOD, and their families. NavyFederal.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Honda's 2013 CBR 600 RR stands out on top of the 600cc Sport Bike food chain. What makes it so good?
Alright, so I'm going to clean up a little bit because there's still some residue oil and some stuff. I don't know, it's hot tank. So, go to the parts store. I went to Gap to get mine. There's other stuff you can get, like Valvoline and stuff. But all I'm going to do is take some lint-free towel, Scott's Blue. You can find this at any auto store. They'll have it. Just kind of douse it down a little bit. Just wipe away. So, just so that's one way to do it. Another way is just spray a little bit on and take an air compressing little nozzle. Just kind of. Just like that. It's all gone. Paint's not ruined. Moving on. So, these are all in. Check them again. Just pretty good.
Links Logistics is hiring oil field drivers in Brighton. Links Logistics hauls frac sand for drilling companies.
So first thing I'm going to do, that one was the wrong way in, Hydrolock. That. Hydrolock is when you got water and it can't be compressed, bleeds off, and then you can turn it again. So those are all in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bearings and we're going to do this dry. I'm not going to put any assembly lube on yet. I'm just going to torque the half spec and check my clearances. This is what you really want to do. So you'll notice that on your crankshaft that you have a thrust bearing. That bearing is going to go in the center here, the center one. As you can tell from the crankshaft. You off. Down. So here's your crank. You can see the grinding surface on the side here. That's your thrust bearing. That's where that's going to ride. And like I said, I had the timing notches cut, which are there, and then they balanced it where they took material off where it needed to be taken away from. And the counterweights. I'm going to set this down. It's heavy. Okay, so basically take your bearings, open them up. The ones that have oil holes in them in a groove, it's going to go in the top. The ones that don't are going to go in the girdle. Girdle, cradle, or the half section. So, this oil groove in the top ones help distribute the oil out on the journal as it rotates, which is really good and helpful. I like the way these are. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure it's clean in here still, kind of wipe away any dirt. And I'm just going to take the little notch here and match it up with the bearing and press in so it's even in the block. Careful of these sharp edges. They are sharp. They are like razors. You will cut yourself if you're not careful. I have done that before, and it's not pleasant because you bleed everywhere. You don't want that in the engine. Hence why I'm wearing gloves. So if I do start to bleed, I have a chance to take my gloves off, go cure my injury, and come back. Really, you don't want to touch the bearing surface with your hands or oil just yet, because it will destroy the bearing, even though it doesn't look like it. You also do not want to drop these either, because it will ruin the eccentricity of it and crush factor, all preloads. So, okay, so that's the bearings on that end. Oh, it is getting hot in here. Holy crap. Give it the G's. So now I'm going to take the other end, this side, and do what I did with the block. I'm just going to clean it off. Just straighten down that and blow it away. Yeah, it's my unsettle a little bit of dust.